Hello, my dear students. Let's continue part 2 of the present simple. We're going to start with the negative form. What's the meaning of the word negative? It means not. Okay, negative means not. So, how do we form the negative form? We add the auxiliary verb don't and doesn't plus the base form of the verb. Okay, so we use the helpers don't or doesn't plus the base form of the verb. It means the verb as it is without adding anything. So when are we going to use don't and doesn't? He, she, the pronouns he, she, and it, they love does. So in negative we use doesn't with he, she, and it. Okay, and what about the rest of the pronouns? I, you, we, or they? We use the pronoun do, and in negative we call it don't. Okay, so let's have a look here for the example. The girl watches TV. So how do we form negative in this sentence? So the girl doesn't watch TV. So it should be followed by the base form of the verb. He likes cats. How do we form negative? He doesn't like cats. It surprises me. It doesn't surprise me. You can't say it doesn't surprise us. 2s, no way. So doesn't or don't, they should be followed by the base form of the verb. Okay, so as you see here in this slide, doesn't, the auxiliary verb doesn't, the helper, it takes the s or the es or the ies. Okay, what about the rest of the pronouns, I, you, we, or they take the helper don't. Okay, so I don't like movies. We don't know the answer. You don't speak English. They don't want to come with us. Okay. Question. What about question? So we got to know what's the meaning of negative. It means not. Question, it means to ask somebody. Okay. How are you going to form a question in present simple? Using the helpers, the same helpers, but we're going to put it at the beginning of the question, do or does. So does plus the subject pronoun plus the rest of the sentence. Does he like food? Okay, this is a question in present simple. Okay, this is a yes no question. No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. Okay, so if you want to answer shortly, no, he doesn't. Yes, he does. If you want to answer, full answer, so yes, he likes food, okay, or no, he doesn't like food, and so on. Does it rain heavily in winter? Yes, it does, or no, it doesn't. So, this is short form. What about the full answer? Yes, it rains heavily in winter. No, it doesn't rain heavily in winter. This is the case in Egypt. So in Egypt, it doesn't rain heavily in winter in Egypt. Okay, but maybe in USA or other countries, yes, it rains heavily in winter. Okay, so does and do, you have to, they should be followed by the base form of the verb. So does, take the s or the es or the ies from the verb. What about do here? Do you remember her? So in question, we put do or does at the beginning of the question and a question mark at the end. Do you remember her? Yes, I do, or no, I don't. Okay? Or you can simply say, yes, I remember her. It's okay. Do you go to the club every day? Yes, I do, or no, I don't. So this is a question using present simple. Okay? Yes, I go to the club every day. This is full answer. What about the time expression? Time expressions mean the keywords. Whenever you see them, you have to use the present simple tense, okay? What are the time expressions? We have always, usually, often, sometimes, rarely, never, okay? So these are the time expressions. Okay, where do we put the time expressions? If we have the verb to be am or is or are, they're very strong, so we have to put the time expressions, okay, after them, okay? So she is always late, okay? So am or is or are, they should be first, then the keyword. We usually eat breakfast at home. What about the rest of the verbs, like eat, drink, play, and so on? Okay, so the keywords are strong, then they are followed by the verb, like we usually eat breakfast at home. He always goes to the gym. Okay, we put the keyword always before the verb. He sometimes goes to the gym. Okay, we put the keywords before it. He never goes to the gym. Okay, we have a question here, word how often. We use how often in the present simple, okay, to ask how many times the action is repeated. So how often do you go to the club? You may say I go to the club once a week, twice a week, okay, 3 times, okay. So we use how often to ask about how many times the action is repeated, and they should be followed by do or does, the helper. So how often do you play sports? Once a week. I play sports once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, okay. And that's the end of our presentation. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.